Evil in the world. It's been around a long time. What is evil? How do you deal with it? And why is evil so powerful? And I think these are questions that plague mankind for a long time here.
Now,
What?
Mr. Evil.
What?
Dr. Evil. I didn't spend 6 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's get over to Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services. Evil. Boy, you picked a big topic today, Doc. Good morning.
Well, that is very true, Mike. And many of us who grew up in the 40s and 50s or any time period, but as we did as young Roman Catholics, often discussed how evil was the absence of good and to be aware of the dangers of succumbing to evil in our thoughts and actions. Now, while most persons now use words like bad and inappropriate thoughts and behaviors rather than the word evil, the condition is the same, regardless of what word we use for it or whether we give it a spiritual or secular cause. I like the word evil because it clearly and appropriately conjures up in the mind a very dangerous individual. And even though none of us are perfect and do things we wish we had not done and try not to do them again, persons who are evil feel no guilt or wrong for what they have done and do and would fit into the category of what mental health professionals, what we would call a sociopath or antisocial personality disorder. It's a person who has no sense of right or wrong, no conscience, and only does things to advance themselves, regardless of the havoc or hurt they cause others. The fact they are often charming and convincing in deceitful actions allows them really to deceive a trusting and good person who believes they have good intentions, as they are taking advantage of them emotionally, financially, and any other way they can. They also think nothing of in terms of lying to employees or partners as they claim to be working with and for them while they actually are taking advantage of them and will think nothing of firing them or taking advantage and just do whatever they can just because they desire to and they can. This is all done under the guise they're doing the best they can to do for you and are really trying to be helpful when in fact, Mike, none of this is true at all. They are using their charm or raw power to deceive and do evil to others who put their trust in them. And if you're married to an evil person or related to them or having to interact with them, it can be very difficult. If you are a trusting and caring person who tries to trust people you interact with. Now, to protect yourself, you really need to know the characteristics of the evil sociopath. These are people that have no feelings and really they're dangerous people. Then you need to separate from them as much as you can as they are toxic to you personally and will cause you great harm emotionally, financially, or any other way they can. The difficult thing for a good person to understand is that there are evil persons and they will be destructive to you if you do not prepare and defend yourself. So regardless of what we want to call evil, we know it's there, and we know that it can be very destructive to a person, and that these are people that really, we hear it all the time, people taking people's money on the phone, older persons, younger persons, whatever it might be. So you really do have to beware when you walk the earth of the evil person. We call them the sociopath. We can call them the, whatever word we want to, antisocial personality disorder, but they've always been around and they continue to be around. So we just want to stay away as much as we can. And, you heard the old saying, well, that person's too good to be true. Well, often that tends to be a very true statement. They are not that good. Okay. So you just have to beware in interactions. And I don't want to tell people that have them start worrying that good people or people that are helping out or evil or have bad intentions. That's not what I'm saying, but there is a certain percentage of people you have to watch out for that are out there to take advantage of you.
Do we tend to, if we hang the word evil, though, evil seems to connotate the supernatural to me, right? You have good and you have the evil. There's black and white. There's no gray area there. And it comes down to, I would think, on the evil side of things, it comes down to pride. But don't we all tend toward the good? I mean, and by that I mean the guy who robs a bank thinks he's doing good for himself at the moment.
Well,
So he doesn't see that he's doing evil. I don't know if robbing a bank, it comes into the evil realm, but you see what I'm saying?
Well, I think it depends on how we define the word out. The reason I was using evil today is I was equating it with what we call the sociopath, okay? The person that really has no sense of right or wrong, or in the antisocial personality disorder. These are people that are really, they don't think. When they think, they think it appropriately if we're looking at it in terms of we ought to be trying to help people, do good for people. These are calculating, destructive people that are out to take advantage of people. They can be leaders in our community. They can be people that we see as very successful, because people like this can be successful if you're only thinking about yourself and you really aren't caring about anyone else. And if you're really clever and you're charming, people, they want to trust you. People look to people. They want to like people. They want to trust people. And the people like this are taken advantage of by persons that I'm using the word evil because it definitely brings up a connotation, certainly, of someone to stay away from. Because we wouldn't use words like sociopath and, personality disorder, these things. These clearly, if you understand them, you can understand really difficult. I mean, these are very difficult and destructive people. Well, use the word evil, because I was just tinkering with that word and thinking, well, evil does mean a lot. It can be a spiritual you can think of, but I'm thinking of it just in the general sense of people that it's an absence of good. These are people that lie to your face. They'll take advantage of you. They'll just do wrong. And a lot of times we really want to believe them. And unfortunately, sometimes they're family members. They can even be a spouse. They can be family. They can be children. They can be whatever it might be. The main thing is you have to protect yourself. You have to be aware they're out there, and just realize it can be toxic for you, and you have to stay away from people like this as much as we can. And I'm not saying there are a lot of them, but there are enough of them. So, and we all, if we really think about it, we run into people that have tried to take advantage of us, that have lied to us, that have an absence of good. I mean, they definitely have these pretty bad, destructive traits, as successful as they might be in life, and many of them are. But the good thing is, I think that ultimately people do want to be good. The vast majority of people do. And you want to live in a world and an environment where you can be good and work with people that are good and live with people that are good, and just try to have as good a life as you can, because life can be difficult without having to deal with the sociopath or someone that we'll call evil in your world, who's trying to take advantage of you, gaslight you, push you off in wrong directions. No, that's not what we need. We need to stay away from those kind of people and just really try to lead a happy life as much as you can. And you can't very well lead a happy one, Mike, if you've got people that are trying to undermine you and take advantage of you, and they are out there.
I would think in your business, in your line of work, Dr. John Braccio, ladies and gentlemen, Regional Psychological Services, Dr. John B. on the web. But I gotta think that you have to dismantle this labyrinth of good and bad, evil, if you will, on a daily basis. When you get someone who wants to talk, who's acquired your services, they obviously know there's a problem of some sort but can't fix it themselves. Man, you got a lot of dismantling and reconstructing to do.
Well, I will say this. Usually, in my work, I'm not working with the evil one, if you will, or the sociopath. It's much more with the one who's the result of it. It's the people that are taken advantage of, and they have problems seeing through this because they're trying to behave well, and they don't understand why people do think bad things of them, or don't think highly of them, or don't respect them. This type thing, and that's because the people that are really destructive, they're not looking for help. They know who they are. They just they lack compassion, and so when they're interacting with people, they can have that smile. They can really convince you that they really are wanting to help you. They gaslight you. So the people that in my work that I'm working with, now that doesn't mean that I don't encounter the sociopath as a person, particularly if they have problems with the law or they want to change a relationship. The point is, because of their deceit, they're generally not willing to work at things, or if they do, it's for a purpose. But fortunately, there aren't huge numbers of these people. But in my work, no, I'm generally dealing with the people that are having problems dealing with people that are destructive or deceitful or gaslighting, and if you will, that are trying to be more effective and trying to gain more emotional strength to resist these people. That's the key, because you get a powerful personality, a person who doesn't care and will take advantage and move through life, and that's very scary. That's why I think the evil has a connotation to it, if you will, that means that people understand. Like if I say, well, Chucky's a sociopath, or Mary has a personality disorder, or whatever. Those certainly have a connotation. But if you say a person is evil in their intentions, and evil in terms of how they treat people, I think that that can certainly put you even more up on your toes, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that was my thought for today, actually.
Yeah, I think
to think about.
And I think we're all a little guilty. If you think of behavior,
sure.
We maybe don't perceive ourselves and our actions sometimes as quote unquote evil, but sometimes others could see it that way when we don't. And all it needs is that we need our eyes open to that. It's an interesting topic. And doesn't every generation think that their own generation is more evil? It's like, boy, there's a lot of bad today. There's so much evil in the world.
I think people, I think each generation, you almost have to wait 100 years, to really judge a generation.
Yeah.
But I do think that's true. I think that each generation finds fault and then often breaks themselves into groups and just is ready to attack and find fault with someone else, but not with himself. But I'm talking about a group that is identifiable, because all of us do wrong.
Wow.
All of us wish that we had done things differently in life. But when that happens, Mike, you do have a conscience. You may do things wrong, because all humans do. But it's a question of it's wrong, and afterwards you try to make up for it. The evil person, the sociopath, they don't. They may be mad they got caught. They will try to work their way out of it, but they don't have these feelings. They are basically there to take advantage of you, and can be charming as can be, and can really, often they destroy themselves. Okay, fortunately, in some ways. I mean, the worst one is the one who can lead a lifetime of deceit, taking advantage, but they're so good at it, and they find people that they can manipulate.
Isn't that always the way? It's like the guy next door. Remember, who was it? John Wayne Gacy. There was just a guy next door. He was
Demercher. There are people. They're those are kind of extremes, but yes, there are.
Boy,
people,
oh boy.
The serial killer, the people that have just, and they can even departmentalize it. They put it into a closet, and they leave this life out there, but inside there's that decay, there's that emotional decay, there's that really destructive quality. So definitely people we want to stay away from, Mike, and we want to and just try to lead a life around seeing people that are loving, caring, and want to move forward and help us as we help them. That's the kind of world we really want, and you don't want to be around the evil one, people that are ready to take advantage of you, and they're there, they're out there. So there's a series.
There's a series on Netflix right now on this guy, Ed Gein. I don't know if you're familiar with us, back in Wisconsin, back in the, was it 40s, 50s? Looked just like a regular little old guy, just a farmer out in the, and no, he's the one that they based like Texas Chainsaw Massacre on, and those kind of things. It's on Netflix right now. It's just, ooh.
Well, listen, that would be a good example. There are people out there, and you don't have to be a murderer to do these things. I mean, you could cause a lot of havoc and danger for people, just by manipulating and doing negative and destructive things and not caring about it.
Yeah. Up on time today, Dr. John Braccio. This is a deep subject, boy. You can find Doc, Regional Psychological Services, and his team of experts, drjohnb.com on the web. Doc Braccio, we'll chat again next week this time.
And bye-bye.
All right, see you later. 1320 WILS. He's a good man, and he's a smart guy. 1320 WILS, Mike Austin on your morning wake up.